What's up YouTube, SIV here on Super SIV TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs of the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active to the Samsung Galaxy S4 Original. Now Samsung have been really busy. Last week we just had the announcement of the Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini, and today we've had the announcement of the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active. And as the name suggests, it's more for the active person who's going to be into sports, etc., and wants that more durable and more rugged device. But how different is it to the original S4? Do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out in this head-to-head spec comparison. So let's start off with these screens. Both have 5-inch screens. However, the S4 Active has an LCD display, whereas the S4 Original has a Super AMOLED display. Now, in terms of the differences, LCD displays usually are a tad brighter, whereas Super AMOLED displays have more contrast, more vibrant colors and deeper blacks. Now, both of these do have a 1080p resolution, 1920 by 1080, 441 pixels per inch, a very high pixel density, which is great to see on both of these devices. And both of these can be used with gloves. The S4 Active glove touch technology, they're calling it, so you can use it with gloves. The S4 Original with the high sensitivity setting on as well, you can also use that with gloves. So in terms of how well between these two, we'll have to see that hands-on, but both of these do support glove use. Now, in terms of the physical dimensions, the S4 Active is larger than the S4 Original, 3.1 millimeters in height, 1.5 millimeters in width, and 1.2 millimeters in depth. So it is a larger phone, ever so slightly, but because of that rugged build that you are getting, it is a larger phone. It also weighs about 21 more grams than the S4 Original. So you are having a larger device here, so you do have that compromise. But that's because of the build. The S4 Active is a diamond patterned plastic, whereas the S4 Original is the polycarbonate plastic. Now the S4 Active, this is the unique feature of it, is it's IP67 certified, dust and water resistant. So you're not going to have any issues dropping this in water, into a puddle, or dropping some water over it, etc. It is for the active user, and that's quite unique on this. With the S4, if you tried putting some water on it, I wouldn't advise it, but it's not going to work out very well here. In terms of the different versions available, the S4 Original, you've got the white frost and the black mist. Those are the popular versions. You've also got a red version, which is currently AT&T only. The S4 Active is going to be available in the urban grey, the dive blue, and the orange flare. So you've got a few different versions here on both of these. Now the S4 Active also has physical touch buttons at the bottom, so you don't have capacitive buttons near the menu button. They are actual physical buttons, and it's going to be a little bit easier to use when you're out and about, etc. Now, processor wise, the S4, you've got two versions, the quad-core 1.9 GHz version, and you've also got the Exynos Octa version as well, which has the 1.6 quad-core plus a 1.2 quad-core as well. So it's got 8 cores in total. That's quite interesting. The S4 Active, they're currently saying you're only going to have the quad-core 1.9 GHz version. So the same processor on the general version. The version of the S4 I have right now as well is the 1.9 GHz quad-core version. So that is the general version, and currently the S4 Active is currently only going to be available in that version as well. RAM wise, both have 2 GB of RAM, great for multitasking, so very similar here again. Internal memory, the S4 Active just has the 16 GB version right now. They've not mentioned any other versions as yet. The S4 Original 16, 32 and 64 GB versions, so you've got a bit more variety there on the S4 Original. Now both of these do have expandable memory, 64 GB micro SD expansion, very good. And again, this is something that I really like about the Samsung devices, that they offer the expandable storage. So for your media, your pictures, videos, etc., that's going to be really good having that. And also having this on this waterproof device is very interesting, that they've actually managed to have expandable storage and a removable back on this device. Now cameras, the S4 Original does have the 13 megapixel camera, great resolution there. The S4 Active just an 8 megapixel camera, the same resolution as the S3. So slightly disappointing here. You also don't have the dual camera feature that the S4 Original has. Now this is something that I really like, and I think that's quite unique. I think maybe Samsung want to keep this quite unique to the S4 because it's not available on the S4 Mini as well, the dual camera feature. Now you do have another additional feature on the S4 Active, which is the aqua mode. Now this is going to optimize settings for use underwater for your camera, so that's quite interesting. And again, for some interesting sort of shots that you can get underwater, that will be really nice to see. Both of the rear-facing cameras also film at 1080p HD. Front-facing cameras, the S4 2 megapixel front-facing camera, the S4 Active 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera. Now they've not been specific whether the front-facing camera on the S4 Active is 1080p or 720p. I would expect it to be 1080p. The S4 original does have a 1080p front-facing camera. Now in terms of the operating systems, exactly the same here. Both have Android Jelly Bean 4.2.2, so the latest version of Android Jelly Bean, and lots of the features as well are also on the S4 Active. You've got Smart Scroll, Smart Pause, Air Gestures and Air View. Again, very unique features that currently Samsung is offering. And you also have the IR blaster on both of these devices. Great to control your TV and other devices remotely from your device here. Very nice here. Battery, same battery, 2600 mAh battery. Both are also removable. However, because of the different displays, they may be slightly different usage times from both of these. Again, we'll have to see which battery performs better because of the differences in display, but that we'll have to wait and see. Now in terms of price, the S4 currently is going for between £500 to £550 here in the UK. This is the SIM-free unlocked version. The S4 Active, they've not been specific in terms of prices yet. I'd expect it to be roughly about the same price, or maybe even slightly less because of the cut down in some of the features that you're getting. But again, we'll have to wait and see for that. We'll be updating pricing details in the description below when they are available. And in terms of release, they're saying summer 2013. They've not been specific in terms of the actual release date, but in a few months this will be available. Again, details will be in the description below, so do look out for those. So those were the key differences in spec between these two. I guess the S4 Active, because of the water resistant and the dust resistant features, it does lack in other features such as the camera, and also is larger in size. So it really depends on what you want to go for. If you are somebody active who's going to be using the phone in conditions such as underwater, etc., then that's going to be quite interesting, and that's going to be a great option for you, and an alternative to the Xperia Z as well. So that's quite interesting to see. Which would you go for? Would you go for the Samsung Galaxy S4 original or the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.